It is a rainy afternoon and my trunk is not filled with gear. This is me using the new gear setup. I got my light box right there with 2 fixtures in it. I got the Pelican, which holds pretty much everything, and then sticks, and then my camera package is behind that. I'm gonna see how much of a difference this makes, how much faster I can load out of the car and then set up. But I already know which stands I'm about to replace.
This challenge is for every queen. I've created a powerful
So you've seen me do this job before, and that is the cool part about an experiment is I can have constants. Normally, anytime I introduce a variable like new gear, whenever I take it out to test it, the new location is a new variable too. So for this, since I'm actually trying to match shots that they have in their sales funnel that I have filmed, it's really nice that I can swap out pieces of gear and directly look at how well does it fit, how well does it not fit, is it problematic. I was actually having a conversation with Jared Phelps in Dallas, and he was saying how he wanted to try my monitor setup, how I have it up front to the left, but he says I just have such a good workflow with it being on top, and is it worth the effort to switch things and mess up the workflow when I already have it working so well? And I can totally feel that because I'm in that situation too, where I'm testing new pieces of gear even though I may not need to, but hoping to find new positives.
So this is the next framing, and we're gonna have the person right here, but this dark tree is kind of getting lost in the background. So we're gonna put this tube here and make it warm.
At the end of 6 weeks, plus you get nutrition guide, weekly check-ins, a private community for support, and a powerful mindset coaching.
So Pelicans are too expensive in my opinion, and so are these organizers, but they do serve the purpose really well. So pulling out a USB-C cable, because the MT Pro is great, but at full power, it only has an hour and 20 minutes of battery life. So I frequently find myself having to do this. So I might purchase an extra long USB-C cable in the future so that while it is boomed as a hair light, I can run a long cable down to a V-mount battery. So here I was dealing with the reflections of that TV. I really wish I could just throw a circular polarizer on the FX6, but it has issues when you match it with the internal electronic variable ND. So I'm opting for a CPL / variable ND. So take a look at that TV. I'm moving the CPL forwards and backwards. It's getting dark and bright. So I'm cutting how much glare I want on that TV. And after a few minutes, the MT Pro is actually charging really fast. Okay, got it. The sun came back out, so now we can get our springtime look. That is also a hurdle as well, because that sun is just full blast, and I don't have a 1200D. So you know what's funny is, like, when I use these silver reflectors, they seem like they have as much output as a lot of the 300 watt fixtures, if not more, because it's wider, bigger, taller, everything. And this is working right now. So we're gonna get some fill from this side. I just gotta figure out the angle of the reflector, and then the cone reflector on the 300, getting every ounce of output possible. And that makes it hard to see the teleprompter, because the teleprompter is not a hard screen like an LCD. There actually are words there. It's just very hard to see from back here. So working with these options.
This is your last chance to sign up and lock in your spot. And here's the best part.
Luckily, it is dead wind right now. There's nothing, so I can use this setup with just a clamp up top
And then I just put another clamp right here. However, if there was wind, this would not be an option. This is way too lightweight. It's basically a sail. There's no sand on it. But for right now, it works because there is absolutely no wind. Let me show you what that last clip looked like. And then I'll just do the social media markers on it. There we go. Oh, that's hard to see. So levels are good. A little hot on the outside, but that's good. Skin tones are good. Hands down, my favorite thing about being a freelancer is choosing what I get to do with my own time. So this weekend was taking a camping trip in the Thousand Islands near Cocoa Beach, which is where I grew up. Go. Got a rope swing. Got to use my Eagle Scout experience, build a little fire, show Giselle how to tend one, and make some s'mores. Generally, I'm trying to make this airline package be as streamlined as possible. So recently, I've been wanting to do this type of grip head situation for two booms. One is for the microphone, and then one is for a hair light. I might not use them both at once, but I have two. The thing is when I put them in this organizer, they're very heavy. They add a lot of weight to the airline setup, and they're kind of bulky. So when I went on Joel Gabrielson's recent gig, I saw that he had these. And these were much lighter. They're not as strong. They're a plastic composite instead of metal, but so much weight reduction. So this type is gonna go not on a big heavy stand because we're gonna have to be able to pack it in there. Instead, it's gonna go on something like this. Oh, there's cream. Gross. Why is there cream everywhere? I don't like that I said that. All right. Stand by. That's what it looks like. Very, very small when you compare it to this. Let me show you the weight savings. So I got this hand scale recently, and it is 1.8. I don't know if it shows that, but 1.8. This is 0.8. So 2-pound reduction since I have two of them. I don't do as many conferences as I used to, but when I did, we would frequently have to walk around with a light, get a man on the street, and then keep going. And when I had an LED panel, I think that was the best option because it's so light and it just works. Flat, thin, it's great. I didn't want to have separate NPF chargers and batteries, and that's why this is going to take up that space. So just using a normal V-mount with the D-tap cable and then putting a little softbox on there, which would be my new favorite softbox, Small Rig LA90, because it packs away so flat. I can't beat that. For conference days, this is going to be the go-to. But I also need to figure out for lightweight travel for corporate interviews, what lights I'm gonna use. This is definitely an option. It's bicolor, runs off V-mount, very small presence and small to pack away. Whereas this stuff, my 5-in-1 reflector handle broke. This one is the 300C and 200X. And if I have my preference, it's this guy. Oh, also that Small Rig softbox comes with this pig crate. If you can't tell, I gotta reorganize. But this 200 is a great travel light. Not enough to combat windows, neither is this. But if that was the call, it would be larger grip set, just everything, scope would all be bigger. You want to know my favorite, absolute favorite thing that I've purchased recently? Is this. I can bounce from here, slide over here, go there, here, here, coffee. It's got like rollerblade wheels, so it's quiet. This is absolutely the best purchase I've made of 2025. Here's an interesting problem. This is an RE stand, AS01. Looks good. Put it onto this Lowell Omni. Huh. So that is not ideal because I don't want all the weight of a boom just being on a couple threads holding it in. So that's not good enough because all the weight is being pinched onto it's being leveraged onto like 2 threads that are inside just above this level. So when I get some new Lowell stands that are coming in, these are the Omnis. Show you here. This is the Omni stand, and then when I get the Lowell Uni 2 stands that are coming in tomorrow, I believe, I need to check if this works, because if it doesn't, that's a huge issue. 2 booms up, we got the Lowell Omni for each, and first off, I just don't like the amount of flex because there is not a lot of weight on the end of these. We have a short shotgun mic and a very small LED tube Amaran MT Pro, and these are light as well. So that's a lot of flex for not stressful conditions. Also, I think it's just because of the weight of the tube. If I take this off, this thing is trying to jump. Okay, so I'm gonna put my hand here. Yep, okay. So it cannot stand straight, which is a bummer because I don't want to bring weight. I don't want to bring sand. That's the whole point of this setup, is to be as light as possible. So this is a much better stand. It has the bigger bevel here to hold the mini grip head, and let me show you what the boom looks like on here. So look at this amount of flex. Much less flex on the RE stand. You can see how much bow this has versus this one. However, when I tip this, it also falls. So I thought I was gonna I could get around with not having sand on here. But I guess I'm gonna have to put some type of weight, which is a bummer. But I do have those new Lowell Uni 2 stands coming in that have a wider base. So maybe that could get around it. However, seeing how easily these can be tipped over, just in general, I feel like I'm going to want to put weight on it. And just for reference, this is the 300C with the softbox. And it's fine. This would be at standing height, but normally a lot of my interviews are all about 3 feet lower with people sitting down. So not the most confidence inspiring, but that does hold. It's got some bow on it. Okay, so when you bring it all together, this is kind of the work in progress. We have 1 stand, 2, 3, 4. So 4 stands all together. Tripod head, VCT plate, shoulder pad setup, Aperture MT Pro, 60X, and then we have our boom poles, and then we have our softbox. So there's still a little bit more room in here, which I will try to fill up if this is not over 50 pounds yet, which I feel like it's very close. And then we got our 2 grip heads, a couple USB-C cables, the crate for the softbox, and then odds and ends and more odds and ends. I have a shoot coming up in 2 weeks that needs to utilize this type of workflow. So I need it to be optimized by then. And for camera bag, I'm going to be using just a little roller from Think Tank and put the FX6 and A7S III in there. So this is getting closer and closer, but like I said, it is still a work in progress.